We're going to be looking at the information that is now on pages Excel 54 and 55, and we're going to be changing font and font size. Of course, remember, a font is the name for a collection of characters, letters, numbers, symbols, and punctuation marks with a similar or specific design. The font size is the physical size of the text, measured in units called points. And remember that a point is equal to 1/72 of an inch. The default font in Excel is an 11-point Calibri, just like it is in Word. And of course, you can take a look and see several different fonts through your font list arrow, and you can make adjustments to the size using the size list arrows there as well. Of course, now you can change the font and the font size of any cell or range either using the ribbon, the Format Cells dialog box, or the mini toolbar. Now you can open the Format Cells dialog box by clicking the launcher in the Font, Alignment, or Number group on the Home tab, or you can right-click a selection and then you can click on Format Cells like we did in the previous video. And of course, the mini toolbar will open when you right-click a cell or a range. So the first thing we want to do is we want to right-click cell A1, and this is where your selected cell should be at. So we're going to right-click this, and then we're going to go down to Format Cells. And of course, we notice that we have the different tabs in our Format Cells dialog box. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the Font tab. And here, this is where we're going to be able to adjust our font, the style of it, the sizes, and any effects, underlining, coloring that we may need to use. In step 2, it tells us that we want to scroll down in the font list, and of course this is the alphabetically arranged listing of all the fonts available to your computer. So we want to go down to Times New Roman. So you may need to use the scroll box here and click on it and drag it down a little bit. That way so you can get down to the lower letters, because we want to choose Times New Roman. Next, we want to go through and we're going to click on 20 in the size box, the size list box here. So we just scroll down just a little bit. There's 20, and we just want to click on it. Of course, we can see that down here is a preview of the results in this preview area. So we're going to go ahead and click on OK, because we want it as a Times New Roman 20-point font. And we now notice that the title will appear as in 20-point Times New Roman. And the font group on the Home tab displays the new font and size information. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to click on the Increase Font Size button, and we're going to click on that actually twice. Very much similar to as it is in Word. Here's the font size or Increase Font Size button, and we're going to click on that twice. So now it's going to increase the size of the title to 24 points of font. In step 4, it tells us that we want to select range A3, and we're going to go all the way over to J3. So we're selecting just our titles that are through here. Now, of course, when you're selecting a range and it's going across multiple pages, don't worry about that. It will continue on. You do have the white space here, which you can disappear just by double-clicking there, or clicking, I should say, just a single left click to either hide the white space, or you can click again just to show it. So we're making sure that we select A3 to J3. Then we're going to right-click this range, and we're going to go down on there, and then it tells us we want to click on the Font List arrow on the mini toolbar. So notice that where we right-clicked it, it brings up our shortcut menu, which we're used to, but also here's the mini toolbar. And so we're going to click on the Font List arrow, and notice that it's the default font, 11-point Calibri. Of course, the mini toolbar we know includes the most commonly used formatting tools, so it's a great way for making quick formatting changes. And of course, noticing in this type that the font names on this list are displayed in the font that they actually represent. In step 5, it tells us that we're going to go ahead and scroll down, and we're going to choose Times New Roman. So we're going to choose Times New Roman again. And this time we're going to make the font size to be 14. Now when you do that, if we move our mouse pointer away from the selection, and if we click on after we click on the 14, and if we move our mouse pointer and click on something else, we'll notice that the mini toolbar closes when you move that mouse pointer away from the selection. Of course, you can compare your worksheet now to what you see on the screen. And of course, you may notice that some of the column headings are now too wide to appear fully in the column. Now, Excel does not automatically adjust column widths to accommodate cell formatting. You'll have to adjust the column widths manually, and we'll do this a little bit later on in our lesson. Now, of course, if we take a look on page Excel 55, you can see the little yellow section down at the bottom that talks about inserting and adjusting clip art and other images. Because like in Word, you can insert or illustrate your worksheets using clip art and other images on there as well. And you could use that just by clicking on Insert, and notice that we have pictures and clip art available as well. So go ahead and save your work on there, and you are ready to move on to the next video.